going to continue with the Steps to Christ series, and this is chapter 5 under the title Consecration. Consecration basically being the total surrender of self to the will of God. Now, I like how this chapter starts. The Bible tells us that ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. Here what it's trying to tell us is that the whole heart must be yielded to God, or the change that we seek will not come. You see, if you look at how the Holy Spirit describes our current condition, phrases such as dead to trespass and sins, the whole head is sick, and phrases like that are used to describe our condition. And so for us to experience the change that we need, a total transformation is required. We need to yield ourselves wholly to the Creator. I'm pretty sure we've heard of the saying that the greatest battle ever fought is the battle of self. And the yielding of self, the surrendering of oneself to God, is something that requires a struggle, but is a necessity before we are transformed and renewed in holiness. Now, arguments might rise in saying surrendering yourself completely to God is like blindly following His rules and laws and commandments and things like that. But let that not deceive you, because mainly that is the devil's work trying to deceive us. You see, we are reminded time and time again, even in the Bible, where we are told that, come now, let us reason together. Let us reason. It's not just a one-way thing. We are told, let us reason together. Because the whole leadership or government of God, if I can put it, is founded upon the intellect, the appeal of the intellect and the conscious. You see, God does not force that we should obey His will, and honestly, He wouldn't even accept homage that is forced and things like that. We are therefore encouraged on our personal accord to surrender ourselves to His will. And how can we do that? You see, one of the things involved is that as we surrender our will to Him, we need to give up things that draw us further away from Him, things that separate us. Our love for this world, if I can put it, the love for money, the love for whatsoever it may be, things that preoccupy our minds, that we must separate ourselves from. Because, you know, if you think about it, it might seem as though it's something that is very difficult, but once you have the love of Christ in you, you realize that you contemplate upon His word, you cherish His love, and ultimately even forget about the things that the flesh wants. You become blind to these things of the world if we allow Christ to dwell in us. And even all these things that are in God's commandments, they are not something that are going to basically take away our happiness. These are things that are designed in order to guide us to the right way, in order for us to be in the right path. You see, God wouldn't take away something that we need, something that is a necessity for us. It is something that He's actually trying to provide for us. And so a question is posed. Do you feel that this is too great a sacrifice to yield all to Christ? Well, I'd like you to ask yourself this question. What has Christ done for me? You see, the Son of God gave everything: life, love, suffering, for our redemption. He suffered for our redemption. And perhaps you may be asking yourself, how am I to do such a surrender? How am I to surrender myself to God? Because time and time again, you might make resolutions and plans of wanting to follow Him, but then due to your own weaknesses, you tend to drift away from the path. You see, and the thing that the devil actually uses is that the knowledge of your broken pieces, your forfeited and failed plans, they actually kind of are used against you by the devil to make you just want to abandon, want to give up in all this. What you must remember is that on your own, you cannot change your heart. But what you can do is that you can decide to serve God, and He will do the rest. You see, He will work in you and do to you according to His good pleasure. And thus, all that we need to do is to decide to serve Him, and He will do the rest. But of course, that doesn't just end there in terms of just desiring to serve Him, because I would like to end this summary of this chapter by reading the last sentence from this chapter, and which goes something like, by yielding up your will to Christ, you ally yourself with the power that is above all principalities and powers. You will have strength from above to hold you steadfast, and thus through constant surrender to God, you will be enabled to live the new life, even the life of faith. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Have a blessed day.